So about 4 months ago, I did a video that was highlighting some trials and tribulations that I was having with the VR headset company Pimax. That video got a little attention, and since then we've done a few follow-ups with Pimax's immediate response, and then also another where we talked about what we would recommend they do to fix the issues they were having. And since that time, I've had a lot of requests from viewers wanting to know, has anything changed? What's the current status? Did they follow through? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Stick around if you want to know more. Welcome everyone to Get Your Game On, the channel dedicated to immersive gaming experiences. Now I want to start off by saying, if you're someone that's already had your time with Pimax and you're just done with them and you're sure you're never going to buy another Pimax headset, well, this video is not really for you. But believe me, I completely understand where you're coming from. I've had a lot of questions from people though that are on the fence. They still like what Pimax is offering, but they're a little unsure based on a lot of the experiences they're reading about, and obviously my experience as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is share with you what happened in my case, and we're going to talk a little bit about where Pimax is now and let you decide if you think Pimax is worth giving another chance. So let's talk about my case to start off with. So first off, this is a Pimax Crystal Light. Pimax sent this to me just like they said they were going to. And I received it on January 10th. So as soon as they got their stock back in, just like they said, they got me this unit. And they also refunded my original purchase of the OG Crystal. They refunded that completely. So they followed through for me on what they said they were going to do. And I will say this headset does work. It actually has the same optics as the original Crystal, and so it looks fantastic. It's much lighter and feels much better on the head. So as you know, if you've watched my other videos, the Studio Form Creative Comfort Kits were a necessity on my original OG Crystal. On this one, they make it better, but they're not required. I can actually wear this just like this, and it's actually comfortable. I can actually tolerate it. Obviously, if you add the Studio Form Creative kits with the balance and all that, it's even better. So I still recommend these if you want the ultimate in comfort. But it also works really well with the software. So because they've gotten rid of that chipset that was in the original Crystal, this thing just operates on Windows. It boots up. I haven't had any of the issues I had with the original Crystal where sometimes it would just not work. This thing has worked every time. Now the one big negative to the Crystal Light is obviously the lack of eye tracking. And what I can tell you is this basically cost me about 20 frames a second when I'm playing DCS. So with the old Crystal that had eye tracking, I was able to get frames anywhere from 80 to 90 frames per second. With this, I'm somewhere between 60 and 70 frames per second. So that's the downside to this. But other than that, this headset is essentially acting the same and giving me the same experience at a much better comfort level than the original Crystal did. So Pimax did a great job in my case, and I was happy to see that. They reached out to me and also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the steps that they've implemented to make their process better. So let's go over to the interview where I talked to Jaap once again and let him speak for the company and let you know where the company's at. So I'd like to welcome Jaap, the head of Pimax Communications. Thanks for taking the time to join me again. Very exciting times. It's been, just as a review, it's been almost 4 months since basically everything happened at Pimax, and I'm really interested to hear how things have progressed. I know you've for certain made some changes, so it's exciting that all the things that you wanted to do from our Pimax Response video, you've actually had some movement on and been able to achieve. Because I think, like, for example, you've got inventory now that sales can't touch, so you've got replacement headsets and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk a little bit about the positive improvements that you guys have had at Pimax.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for giving this opportunity to follow up. You've also been super supportful in highlighting the mistakes, but also being very supportive of giving us a chance to show what we've done. I think not sure where to start, because the problem we analyzed all the problems and sort of opened the box and looked inside. I think for customer care we can say customer care was this big department, and
Mm-hmm.
so look in the box was not immediately clear all the issues. So we have split the big team into 4 smaller teams.
Okay.
So now we have pre-sales, after sales, technical support, and then logistics. Um, so it's smaller teams, so it's not everybody doing everything, but it's like so it's good for speed and also expertise. People really do the same type of problems all the time. And then we also have easier applications or no applications for refunds or replacements or
Okay.
those type of things. So we can
Okay.
just send the headset and then apply after, and so the customer doesn't need to wait for that. Um, so this has sped up a lot. So there's no more backlog now. We can every question we can answer within 1 working day. We're still working on
Okay.
the weekend, but that's not something we can promise yet.
Sure.
So it's a working day.
So,
Um,
big improvements from the week long that we were seeing back in November. People shouldn't have to wait a week now to get a response from you guys. It sounds like you're responding very quickly.
yeah, and we have also done some, you could say, writing classes
Oh,
on clarity and just being more helpful. So when you say, okay, we're shipping you a replacement, then the customer will again ask, okay, but when? So we can say we're shipping a replacement by end of this week, or I don't know yet, but I will let you know tomorrow or something like that. And then we're also, because that was also one of the critique points, very valid, because it's not just emailing, it's not just responding to something, it also has
hmm
to be helpful. So people would have a problem, and then customer care might say, okay, just reinstall
yeah,
Timex,
yeah.
but
I
they already,
ran into that a
and
few
then,
times where it's like it was a few weeks of, no, I already did that. We already talked about that. Can we get on the next step? So that seems to be a little bit improved then.
yes, so that is a problem if you need to wait 1 week or several days for a
Yeah.
reply, but it's still annoying if you need to wait 1 day, especially if you
Right.
have the headset and you can't wait to get started. You want it immediate. Uh, so we're also measuring now how many emails it takes to solve a case. Ideally
Oh,
in one email, but that's not always possible. But
what are you seeing? What's the average looking like? Like how, on average, how many back and forths does it seem to be taking right now?
I think we're still aiming for three
Okay.
emails.
Okay.
I don't know exactly the number now, but we're trying to push it down, which is good for the customer. It's also good for us because then just the total email load decreases.
Sure.
It's just, yeah, it's just more efficient.
Okay. Well, that's good news. I know I had that big log of I don't even know how many, but yeah, if you guys are getting them done within 3 or 4, that's good. That means within a week, even the more difficult problems should be getting resolved or very close to being resolved. So definitely an improvement. And then I heard a rumor that you guys also have refined some of your front end, some of the graphics to present a better idea of when shipments are coming, or there was something like that going on.
Yeah, we used to have different data systems,
Uh
and
huh.
then one is for logistics and one is for finance, and we have more CRM that is connecting everything. And
Okay.
so for one of the problems with logistics was also that it was clear in one system that a shipment could be later. It could be any reason, could not per se uh, Pimax's fault, but of course we are responsible for it. Um, but then that system didn't communicate with the other system, and so the customer would just ask, "Where's my headset?" Because you said it would be here at the end of this week.
Right.
And now we see that if it does happen, then we can proactively communicate to the customer, like, "Hey, sorry, your headset is going to be late." Doesn't happen a lot, but still, it's just better to proactively say that. And then also that data is also in the dashboard, so customers can see which step of the process the shipment is.
So it's kind of like ordering a pizza where it says in the oven, ready, that kind of thing. You have kind of a
Yeah,
nice,
yeah. Making VR headsets maybe not too different from making pizzas.
yeah, angry customers if you get the order wrong. I think on both.
Yeah, yeah,
For some
yeah.
reason, pizza orders are sacred to a lot of people, so don't mess them up. So, anyways, but okay, well that's good. I mean, it's good that you're making a lot of the progress, on a lot of the things you wanted to do. I like the idea of the smaller teams because, again, then you've got people that can focus on things, and you're not having to have such a general knowledge. You can focus on what you're doing. So that's really good. Let's talk a little bit about the crystal. So obviously, we had some issues with the crystal light lenses for a while, and people were having defective lenses and having to return them, and that kind of thing. Can you give us an update on quality control? Because I know that was, we had the customer service problem, but we also had a quality control issue that we're facing. So, what are the updates on the quality control front? And also, if you can kind of give us an idea if you've made improvements on your quality control for your new super headsets. So, kind of fill us in with what's going on there.
Yeah. So quality control is like more a process, not one thing we do. We have more steps in place, and also we still check them some batches here. But I think the quality control now was quite good, with exception of the lenses. That was an issue for some time. I think the rest, for the crystal light especially, was quite stable. I haven't myself not seen, because I've tested dozens of crystal lights here. I think some people will have defective lenses, or they just cannot get the right position, or they don't wear it correctly. Could be many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Could be just that they they can't get a good fit, or they didn't wear it properly. But we do have something specific. We do have better equipment for testing lenses now, the material and also the shape of the lens, because a tiny difference would already have, like a minuscule difference would already have big consequences. So
Okay.
we have camera. It's kind of ironic. We have lenses to test lenses, like they're very large. They look a little bit like camera lenses
Okay.
to test those to test the lenses. But I
Right.
think the lens issue has been solved. I don't see it in the data now, and I don't see it online as much. Sure, some people will still have it, but I think it is also, every headset will have that. I think the customer care issue, uh, I think we all felt really bad about that, and the lens issues is also super annoying. I think we have fixed it now. But I also want to say, I think we fixed it for everyone. Everyone who wanted to replace those lenses, we have done that, or everybody who wanted to return a headset, because we have this 14-day tryout window,
Mm-hmm.
all had the opportunity to do so. I know it's annoying. It's super annoying for us. But we have fixed all those cases. If not, then please let me know. But I have also, in the last few months, I have also received way less messages on Reddit and Discord,
Okay.
because that's
So what is the process now? I understand that you've made improvements for returns, or if there are issues. You just mentioned that everybody that had issues has been taken care of. But if somebody's thinking about getting this, because the big comments I've been seeing on the last videos are, "Oh man, I'm not going to risk it." So what is the new process, or what are you doing now for someone that may be on the fence about buying a Pimax, but they're still hesitant because of the previous, issues that people have had? What are you doing now in that regard?
Yeah, so we did launch Prime. I think we launched also in November. So you don't even have to pay the full price for the headset to get it at your home. You can pay a part and try it. You can try it for 14 days. And if we don't have this issue a lot anymore, but if still you can't, we had the issue with the 5090 series when it just came out. So some
Mm-hmm.
people had Crystal Light and they couldn't get it to work the first, or there was no audio the first week or two. Then we just say, okay, we just extend the 14 days, or if something, a new replacement part needs to be shipped, then we also extend that period so they can
Okay.
really test it. And if not, then they can just return the headset, and Pimax will still take on the shipping fees.
So it's critical, anybody that gets a headset, that they scrutinize it in those first 14 days, because after those 14 days, you guys generally aren't taking returns, correct? So you need to make sure you check all this in the first 14 days, and if there's a problem, reach out to you, at which point you will extend that period if there seems to be an issue, correct?
Yeah. So I personally think the 14 days is already quite well, in terms of, like, you have 2 weeks to try it out, and after that, then it's on you. Then you cannot return it anymore. If there's an issue, then we replace it.
Right. So it still has the warranty for a year, but it's just you're
Yeah.
not going to do a full refund or anything like that. So those of you out there thinking about it, just make sure that you take that 14 days seriously and make sure it's the headset you want. And if not, make sure you reach out to Pimax before that expires. So, well, that's good news. I mean, at least you've got that going, and I really am happy to hear that you've extended it so nobody runs into the problem of having an issue, 14 days is up, and then all of a sudden you're like, sorry, nothing we can do. So I'm glad you've extended that automatically. Whenever issues arise, you give that little buffer of extending that period out so people can make sure
Yeah.
everything's good. So, all
The
right.
same for the warranty also.
Okay.
Before there were some gray areas in the rules or protocols. Now it's if there's an issue during the warranty, there was also your case,
Yep.
then we just freeze the warranty until the issue is fixed.
Okay.
And if a new part needs to be shipped, like a DisplayPort cable or anything, then the warranty if warranty isn't 90 days, then it will be extended by 90 days for that.
Okay. Okay. So it's 90 days or the remainder of your warranty, whichever one's bigger. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on
Yeah.
those parts, like if somebody has a faulty cable, let's say 6 months in or something, who pays the shipping? Do they have to pay the shipping, or does Pimax pay the shipping?
Timex will pay the shipping.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's really good. So I'm glad to hear that. So anything else exciting at Pimax you want to cover? Anything else you want to let the customers know? And again, keep in mind, these are people that have probably seen my other videos and, have been hesitant, because I still get comments on a pretty regular basis that, man, I'm not sure. I was looking at Pimax, but I think I'm going to look somewhere else now. Here's your opportunity to convince them that things have changed in addition to what we've said. Is there any final message you'd like to give those folks?
I think the issues we have fixed quite well. I would almost say fixing the issues has been relatively easy. It took 4 months. We still have some improvements to make on the customer care, etc. I think now the main thing is we maintain this level and make sure it stays this way or better. It doesn't drop down again. So
Right.
we're aware of this. And then I think trying out the headset is quite easy. If you can try it, and if you don't like it, then you can ship it back, because it's very hard to show somebody online or in a video what VR feels like. You have
Yeah.
to experience that at home. So that's something we also want to facilitate. And
Excellent.
then for the rest, I hope people will support Pimax and support VR, because we need it, Pimax and VR in general. And so I just hope for the community support in pushing this forward.
Yeah, and I do want to take a moment to commend you. I mean, 3 months ago or whenever it was, we were talking, and you had this whole litany of things that you were going to, work on improving and putting into place. And it sounds like a lot of those have gone into place now. So I just want to take a moment and commend you on all the effort that I know you put into actually making those things a reality. I know that's not easy, and it's nice to hear that. You've actually been able to implement a lot of the things that not only me and the community mentioned, but some ideas that you had on your own. So I certainly wish Pimax well. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new products are like and the response you get. And we'll keep an eye on the comments down below. I definitely want to hear from you guys out in the universe there, and let us know what kind of experience you've had, especially lately. Obviously, if you had the same problems 4 months ago or 5 months ago, like I did, obviously they didn't have any of this in place. But now that they've got these new measures in place, I'd really like to hear from all of you as to what your experience has been with Pimax in the last several months. And hopefully we'll see that in general, everybody's having a much better experience. So I just want to thank you for taking the time and giving us an update, and definitely wish you the best, and looking forward to seeing what comes out next. So at the end of the day, did Pimax improve? Well, it appears so. I just really hope they can continue to stay that way. We've gone through this cycle before where they've done a cycle of getting better, and then all of a sudden as things die off or that new headsets come out, they tend to slack off again. I'm hoping this time they actually can maintain the high level of customer service and the high level of quality assurance that they seem to have implemented since my issues 4 months ago. So is it worth buying a Pimax now? Again, they're amazing products on a spec sheet, and they seem to have improved on the quality assurance and on the customer service. So it's up to you. All I can do is give you as much information as I can to help you make that decision. So that's what I have for you today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you found this video helpful, again, consider hitting that super thanks button. It really helps the channel out. And until next time, remember to get your game on.